Ladies and gentlemen, the Buffalo Bills enter Week 4 with a bitter taste in their mouths after losing in the last seconds to the Miami Dolphins last Sunday. The challenges don't let up this week as they face off against Lamar Jackson and the red-hot Baltimore Ravens. Before I get to the preview, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Now let's start things off with the Bills offense. What was that? Mismanagement of the clock, bad penalties, and bad heat all doomed this unit against the Finns last week. Josh Allen played fine, throwing 42 for 63, getting 400 passing yards and 2 touchdown passes. But for all of those yards, the offense wasn't able to capitalize. A missed field goal there, 2 failed spikes here and there, a crucial touchdown pass dropped by Gabe Davis, and a lack of execution really hurt in this game. Plenty of others, though, were dealing with heat illness, including Spencer Brown, the now injured Ryan Bates, Stephon Diggs, and others. Dawson Knox and Gabe Davis were clearly not at 100%, but hopefully with a regular week, they will be up to the task versus the Ravens. Wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie looked fine too until the last play of the game where he couldn't decide whether he wanted to stay in bounds or out until the very last second. The running game will need to be more of a factor this week too, but with everyone besides Josh Allen being very ineffective for the most part. The only caveat to this was Zach Moss's 41-yard run in the second half, but Singletary was invisible in the running game. In the passing game, though, he had 78 yards on 9 catches. The Bills' offense overall will want to improve this week when they face off against the leaky Ravens defense. This unit headed up by a familiar face in Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Williams, Patrick Queen, Marcus Peters, and Calais Campbell has been struggling somewhat to open the season. They were ripped apart by the Dolphins in Week 2 and then gave up over 400 yards of offense to the inept Patriots. Mac Jones was able to throw for 321 yards, a bad sign for a reeling secondary. The defense struggled to stop Mac Jones, and surprisingly enough, Devontae Parker had 156 reception yards last weekend. The one department where the Ravens defense did really well was at turnovers, as they picked off Mac Jones 3 times and had a fumble recovery. Josh Bynes had 1 interception, Marlon Humphrey had another, and the third came from former All-Pro cornerback Marcus Peters. They won the game because of these takeaways, and in order to beat the Bills, they'll have to do more of the same. That and get some serious pressure on Josh Allen, who was strip-sacked last week by Melvin Ingram in an all-out blitz. Justin Madubuike and the aforementioned Calais Campbell will be tasked with this, as could Odafe Oweh, who commonly leaks off the edge. The Ravens defense will have to perform very well to beat the Bills, as will the Ravens offense. Lamar Jackson's passing stats last week against the Patriots were a bit of a mixed bag. He went 18 for 29 for 218 yards, but he threw 4 touchdowns to just 1 INT. Tight end Mark Andrews was, like many other times, his favorite target as he caught 8 passes for 89 yards. Wide receiver Rashad Bateman has also been solid to start the season, and Devin Duvernay's speed is always something defenses will have to watch out for. But this is Lamar Jackson's team, which means rushing the ball will be the main source of offense for them. On Sunday, Jackson ran 11 times for 107 yards and scored a touchdown with his legs in what was another typically dominant run performance. Running back Justin Hill also played well on the ground, carrying the rock 6 times for 60 yards, and J.K. Dobbins struggled mightily, having 7 carries for just 23 yards. The Ravens will need to beat up a banged-up Bills defense with speed if they want to win, and while they don't have as much speed as the Dolphins, they certainly have enough to give the Bills defense some trouble. I can't talk about this defense without mentioning the litany of injuries plaguing this group first. Get ready for the injury list because it's a big one. Micah Hyde is out for the season, Dane Jackson is out indefinitely, Cam Lewis is out as well, Ed Oliver has missed the last 2 games, Jordan Phillips missed Week 3's game and is questionable for this week's, as did Jordan Poyer, and now Christian Benford has fractured his hand, meaning he'll be out for a long time. And Tre'Davious White was still not able to play, and will not be able to play again this week. So, with all of those injuries, where did the Bills defense go from here? This question has hung over the Bills defense last week, and they answered to a mixed result. They held the Dolphins offense to just 212 yards of total offense, but they gave up 5.4 yards per play. Greg Rousseau looked very good, having 1.5 sacks, but the rest of the D-line wasn't able to get consistent pressure on the quarterback. Von Miller still exists, and he was pivotal in keeping the game alive late in the fourth quarter last week, but he will have to step up big time in Week 4. This Bills defense will hope to have some of their starters back for this huge game, because if not, this game could get very interesting real fast. So, with all of that out of the way, here's what our BSC panel plus a Ravens fan is predicting for this Week 4 matchup.
Backfield flanking Jackson. He stays in the block. Jackson fires, and that will be intercepted in the end zone by Johnson. Karen Johnson. And only Jackson can stop him now. Too late to the end zone. Touchdown.